The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the QATV staff or board of directors. QATV, in compliance with FCC regulations, is prohibited from exercising control over the content of independent, member-produced public access programming.
Stop the greed! 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 Stop the greed!
Good afternoon. You are Kathy
Run.
Yeah, and you are a Quincy resident, and you're here at the City Hall to protest the raises for City Hall. And you were the very first with the breaking news about these raises, as I recall. So please tell us the story about how you discovered
Well,
the raises.
how I discovered them is that I read a report known as the Dormanson Report. And I said, holy moly, they were recommending a raise between something like $298,000 and $350,000, $380,000 for the mayor.
Yeah.
And so there was a finance committee coming up with the last of the budget hearings. And so I got up to speak about my concern about the fact that we were getting deeper and deeper in debt. And then towards the end, I said, also, I've read the Dormanson Report. I would like to know, gentlemen, are we going to have public hearings about the mayor's raise? David McCarthy said, we will answer all your questions. You know what my answer was? Silence.
Silence, yes.
Silence.
That's Dave McCarthy. Silence all the way. Yeah, he gave
Well,
no question.
It's
He
been
happens to
silence
be
from
my
all of
rep.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, so as this progressed, and you know how it progressed, but come June, there were ordinances, there was some ridiculous conversation about ordinances, and then on June 17th, they were passed. 79% for the mayor and 50% for the city councilors. That's a disgrace.
Absolutely.
And I was very, very disappointed in our elected politicians. So next, a woman named Lori Thomas, thank God for her, she actually put together a petition to repeal.
Yeah.
Except state law tells us you have 20 days to get 8,000 signatures. Well, in 20 days, through the July the 4th holiday, through heat waves, we got over 6,000 signatures. I'd like you to all think about that. Over 6,000 signatures for the mayor, over 4,000 signatures for the city councilors. Hurrah! They're going to listen to us now. We were a little short, but they're going to listen to us now. Guess what? Guess what their answer was? Silence.
Yeah.
Our city
Right.
councilors and mayor are apparently mute. So then, under Susan Ewan is a
She'll
ball
be
of
coming over
energy.
soon. Yeah.
Good.
Yes, she's fabulous.
She said, okay, let's get a letter petition going. So we got a letter petition together. Guess how many signatures we got on those letter petitions? We got over 400 for both DeBona and for Nina Lang.
Okay.
We got over 200 for Scott Campbell. With the exception of Scott Campbell and Richard Ash, guess what we heard? Silence.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think what is particularly galling about our elected politicians is that they're silent. They will not listen, they will not talk to us, and I think that's a disgrace. I invited them all here today to talk with us, to listen to us. Let's see if they come, or if they will be true to their colors, and they will be silent.
Well, thank you for all the great work you're doing and continue to do. This is a wonderful crowd that's building up here.
It is.
And we have an opportunity to have a rally here. We will talk in a few minutes to Susan, but I wanted to just mention that two of the city, well, only one of the city councilors actually voted against
Dan
this
Mitt.
raise.
That's right. I should have told you that.
Yeah, Ward 5, and we thank him for that. And just
Yes.
recently, just like this week,
Harris,
yes, Ward 6 city
the Ward 6
council,
city councilor. But how is he going to do that?
and we don't know. Yes, that's the big question.
We'll
How
see.
procedurally will it happen?
Because it was an ordinance. Will they write up an ordinance just for Mr. Harris?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so
We'll see.
a lot of unanswered questions for sure. But we thank you so much for your role in this. Hey, we've got to
Same
stick
to you.
together. There you go. Okay. And Just Quincy Just Quincy, who are objecting to the 79% raise for the mayor and a 50% raise for city councilors. We've talked about the process that we went through without any public input whatsoever. So Susan has taken it to a considerably larger level to be able to do more outreach. We talked about all the signatures we've gotten in the past, but you've taken it a step
new
further
level. Yeah.
to do a whole letter campaign.
Yes.
Tell us about that letter campaign.
Okay. So after the referendum petition finished, we get 6,030 signatures to repeal mayor's races and 46,000, more than 46,000, 4,600
Yeah.
signatures
4,600 for city council.
for
Right.
councillors. Then, since the councillors didn't respond it, so we started a letter campaign, open letter campaign. So we have 8 letters to each 8 councillors.
Yeah.
And we connect 400, more than 400 signatures to city councillor at large. And for each ward councillors, we connected 32 to 55 signatures to each ward councillors. And after we submitted the letter, we have been able to talk to 3 councillors.
Oh, tell us
Yeah.
about that, because most of the constituents on these letters have not heard word one from
No.
any councillor.
We
whatsoever.
haven't.
None.
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah, so the only councillors we have talked, have to be able to
Good.
talk. One is Scott Campbell, another is
Scott Campbell, yeah.
another is DeBona.
Yeah.
They two both are
Noel
councillors. at-
DeBona,
Yeah,
yeah.
Noel DeBona. And Ward 5 councillor Minton.
Minton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So 3 councillors all indicate the race is high, they knew it's high. And one councillor said in 2 years, 285,000 salary will become a benchmark for other cities. Then that's terrible. That's exactly what we want
yes.
to prevent. it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and we still haven't heard other city councillors, even though they got an open letter with tons of signatures.
Exactly.
So today
yeah.
we come here, use our presence and our voice to deliver message to them, since they just ignore people's letters. And our next event will be a Halloween holding signs event.
Oh, good. Very
Yeah.
good.
We
and,
will.
and Susan has made it a very bilingual, bicultural campaign with the Asian American
That's true.
community here in Quincy, which
Yeah.
has been very important.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
open letter campaign started from the Asian community
Yes, exactly.
in
Yeah.
Quincy. So in 1 week, we get 292 signatures completed from Asian community to for the letter to Nina Liang, and got more than 300 signatures. Most are from Asian community.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
To the
Yeah.
Councilor Debola. Then later we expanded to whole city. That's later we submit all 8 letters to 8
Yeah.
councilors.
And what to hope to find out tonight from City Council?
City councilor apparently tonight on their agenda, they are not going to discuss about
Yeah.
this race issue. That's very disappointed, because they know that's such a big controversy and so many people are against it.
Right.
But they try to avoid. But what we are going to do, we need to keep pressure on and
Exactly. Yeah.
push
Yeah.
them to
And-
put this issue on their agenda, and we will ask them to rescind
Good.
the races.
My name is Joseph Lucier,
Yep.
and I'm supporting Susan and everyone else because it's such an important cause to do this. I'm not the only one outraged by this overt abuse of power, in my opinion. There's been no transparency. There's been behind the door deals being made. People getting ridiculous raises.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of, say, for example, fairness, a 79% raise for the mayor, a 3% raise for the teachers, an 18% tax increase.
Right.
For me,
Yeah. Yeah.
you do the math, that's
Right.
just a little bit of
The
a
math is you can't add it up.
You can't add it up, right?
And the this continues with the amount of spending that the mayor is doing on a number of different things. He's planning a 15-story edifice. He bought with COVID money. He bought that building, the Monroe building over there, to build himself a 15-story building for a new Quincy City Council. And he
Yeah.
spent millions on his parks, military parks, the General Bridge to nowhere.
And the police department, the police
Right.
office.
Yeah,
So
that's,
in terms of that,
Yep.
it just doesn't make sense. Where are the priorities? In the future, the teachers, the children,
exactly.
the families?
Where are the
No.
investment?
Where is the future? In the salaries of the councilors and the mayor? Is that the future? No. And like I said, it will set an incredible precedent for the future. And who's paying for it? You?
Yes,
me,
all
Yes.
out of
that's
our
us as
pockets.
taxpayers. for
So all
sure.
these great buildings, they're
Exactly,
wonderful.
yeah.
And you can build buildings forever.
Yeah.
But the heart of the city is based upon the people
It's
that live here.
residents. That's
It's
right.
the residents of the people. But we've been tricked by this.
That's true.
Was it
Because
announced during the
during the election?
No, not at all.
Nobody heard anything.
Nobody
about
heard anything about
it. It was all
of a sudden,
silent. And
there it was.
yeah,
And
exactly.
thank you very much, Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor and the
that's right.
councilors. I emailed every councilor
Yeah.
with her recommendations
Yeah.
and all the great work that they're doing. Zero responses.
Mm-hmm.
I've had issues for years with pollution in my neighborhood. They're not really finishing the job.
Yeah.
There are all these issues, common sense. The biggest problem is how do we touch them? How do we contact them?
Yeah.
How do we actually
Yeah.
have a conversation with them?
Yeah.
Are they afraid of us? Are they cowards? Can they speak to us
yeah.
to our face? No.
Okay. We've been fighting against it ever since, and I have never been more proud to be part of a group of people than I am this one. I'd like to say that we sprung into action right after these raises were signed, and we went through a very unusual process where we tried to use the tools given to us by the Commonwealth to repeal these raises. We all knew it was a long shot, but I think we exceeded everybody's expectations, including the people that are going to be in that building tonight. Right. 6,000, over 6,000 registered Quincy voters signed on to our petition in less than 3 weeks. That's pretty amazing. Unfortunately, they set the bar and the goalposts way too far for any reasonable organization like ours. We weren't going to make that 8,000, but we came pretty close, and I'm damn proud of it. So here we are, and we're not going away, because the main tool in the mayor's playbook is to wait out the outrage. When he took away our hospital, it was waited out. They'll forget about it. When he makes sweetheart deals with developers, wait it out. They'll get over it. Something else will distract them. We are not going away. We are still here. Months later, we're here before a meeting when it's not even on the agenda. We're putting them on notice that they are not getting a break from this. We are not going to put up with $256,000 extra dollars given to 10 employees who had already accepted the position weeks earlier for the price that it was listed at.
Good night.
So anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I really am happy you guys are here. I'm proud of us. And who would like to?
And Joe is right on. Joe is telling you they're going to try to wait us out. They're going to try to make believe that we don't exist. They're going to greet every question we have with silence.
They won't answer our phone calls. They won't answer our emails. They won't answer our letters. They won't even answer over 6,000 signatures on a petition. Okay, look. Salary Gate is very accurate. Thank you, Joe. And don't stop. Don't stop questioning them. Don't stop. Don't stop. Please don't stop. Civic engagement is here to stay in Quincy. So don't stop, and thank you all.
9% of pay raise and more than 6,000, more than 4,600 people, voters have signed the letter to repeal councilors' 50% pay raise. And they still ignored us. So we started open letter.
If allowed to speak before the city council, this would be my statement and probably all of our statements. The mayor and the councilors deserve a fair raise. In my view, Mayor Koch has been deficient in crucial matters concerning social justice and the climate crisis, but deserves credit for the many good things he and his team have achieved through the years. My objection is to the excessive amounts and undemocratic method that occurred with these raises. There should have been, and still should be, public meetings and hearings to discuss these raises and develop a fair process for future raises, perhaps a 3% annual raise as police, fire, and teachers had to fight for, going forward.
To fight for.
You have to fight for it. If Mayor Koch, we all know this, had campaigned in 2023 on a 79% raise for himself and 50% for the councilors and up to an 18% raise in our property taxes, he would not have won by that slim margin of 1,904 votes, and he would not be mayor now.
Strong enough.
The $9,500 taxpayer-funded Dormanson study, which recommended a range of $298,000 to $370,000, is deeply flawed, conflicted, and somebody should be convicted, conflicted, and unrealistic. Most would reasonably agree that the mayor of Quincy, with a population of approximately 102,000, should not be the second highest paid mayor in America, making more money than the mayor of Boston, of New York City, the governor of Massachusetts, our U.S. representatives and senators. Remarkably, and many of these people are here tonight, 6,023 Quincy residents, a 1/3 of the number who voted in the November 23rd, 2023 election, signed a petition demanding that these raises be overturned. The mayor and the council are very aware and have dismissed this public outcry. Unless the council votes to overturn the salary ordinances which they approved in June, this is what really gets me the math of this. Starting in January 2025, Mayor Koch will have an outrageous $134,000 annual raise to $285,000 a year. He will retire in 3 years. He surely would not be reelected again, having tarnished his legacy and reputation, which has been aptly called Salary Gate. His annual pension for life, and we all wish him a long and a happy life, but it'll be a whopping $228,000 a year, over 20 years probably. This will result in more than $2 million extra in his pension. Wow. I'm winding up here. These raises are irresponsible and unconscionable money grabs. The mayor and the council need to listen and respond to the people, reverse these raises, institute a fair, democratic salary process, and govern like they deserve the trust and respect for a just Quincy.
I think that would be great. The other one is common sense. I think it's about priorities. A big priority is teachers, students.
Everything they want, including this raise, so that they could get a raise. And mind you, let's see how many of them run for mayor next time, because they know they're going to get $250,000 in salary. We should all remind them that they voted the wrong way. We should demand that they have meetings. How many people here were notified by a city councilor that they were going to hold a meeting to find out how we all felt about these raises? Nobody. How many city councilors have even indicated that they had a meeting with their constituents before today? So they have significant issues coming up. They're getting paid significant money on top of full-time jobs. They get bonuses of $5,000 because they're supposedly communicating with us by mail or in some other way. $5,000 they're getting every year. They get a phone bonus so that they can return our calls. Do they return our calls? No, they don't return our calls. They don't do their job. Their job is not to give the mayor everything he wants. Their job is to represent us. They will not represent us until we demand that they do so. So every single one of us should be haranguing our present city councilors, and we should be running for office. These people should be voted out at the next election. Run for office.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mimi Balsamo, fourth generation Quincy resident. I'll just have to say this mayor and the city council were quick to evict people from sleeping in tents in a churchyard several weeks ago. And I wonder how many of them would like to be sleeping in a tent. Would they just cushion that tent with all those big bucks from their raise? It seems like inhuman treatment for some people and others treated like royalty.
Ward 4. A lot of you have inspired me to come up and talk to all of you. I see cameras, but I say to my mother every night, every time she says I'm being too loud, I go, God gave me a voice, so I'm going to use it. So I see a lot of folks just a bit older than me. I want to ask all of you, make a little noise. How many of you have kids who cannot afford to live in this city anymore? I got some news for you. The long-term project is working. Our city that we love, the city of presidents, is slowly leaving the working class bastille that we once knew. My grandparents, they're immigrants from the Philippines, and they settled down in Charlestown. And then they decided they could have went anywhere in the United States, and they came right here to Quincy, Massachusetts. And that is where I have been since 1995, and I would like to stay here. But when we see folks like Tom Koch and our friends inside, rack after rack, donation after donation by these developers, and on top of that, they decide to give themselves their own little raises, and they get to live off of that. Damn shame, isn't it? So,
And raise our taxes.
and on top of that, yes, so what we all need to do, and I know someone already said this on running for office ourselves, but we need to make sure that we don't give up on the democratic process. We had the election just a little over last week. What we had, 18% voter turnout? So a lot can happen when we can inspire folks like myself, kids of our own kids, our next generation of Quincy voters, if we get out and vote. Because you know what? Every single race is a winnable race. And we can do this. And to quote someone who I really don't like, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, by 2025, let's make them squeal. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everything you're all doing. Thank you.
Not even a sign? No sign.
No longer
Yeah.
What about free speech?
I guess so.
Yeah. I'll collect them.
Where is that rule written? Why?
No signs.
Why? You know that was.
Talk to my boss.
Where is it?
Look at him.
Look at them. I'm right here. Okay. I'd like to see your.
All right, you can let him. Okay. You can sit over here, sir.
Great timing. You can't.
We'll say
What about the First Amendment? Where is he getting his boss from telling?
if they say no.
Yeah.
No signs. They can't say no to a mask, though, can they? No signs. You can't bring the sign in. Can't bring the signs in. Can't bring the signs in.
Cindy, way out here then.
Why can't we have signs? Why can't there be signs?
I'm gonna wait.
Guess they want chanting instead, huh?
He said he's gonna get his boss. I said, where is that rule written? So he's getting his boss. Theoretically. The boss? Where does this rule come
Determined today because there's going to be several issues going on today, and it's going to be a very volatile meeting, that there's going to be no
So
signs.
he can conduct a meeting,
Correct.
but it doesn't
So
say
on his own
specifically
whim, he can
signs.
say which days he wants which signs.
As it's being charged of the meeting, yes, he makes
Wow.
that determination.
Wow.
Yes.
Does it
That
say
will go in the
signs?
Quincy
Huh?
Sun.
Correct, it says it right in the law.
Yes, I
He
think
Which
determined.
law is that?
Huh?
Which law is that?
Yeah.
It's,
Which law?
I'll look it up right for you,
Thank
sir.
you.
So I can-
Thank you. We will
Listen,
appreciate
Thank you very much.
So somebody write the paper
It's not
about
in
it.
the Constitution.
I appreciate you giving us the information.
Thank you very much.
It's a shame Mr. Kane couldn't come here to tell us.
Yes, that would have been good.
He's too busy doing other things. As opposed to.
Are we gonna be able to get these back? I don't want to work.
Yeah, right.
I hold it and then you can come and get it. I'll be here.
Are you gonna stay here?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm behind you.
They won't.
I came to my house, he never did the math.
It's chapter 27240,
Wrote a letter and asked him to answer questions about the race.
public meeting,
He said, I'll come to your house. His mother was. Thank you.
okay?
And that says no sign.
No. That whoever's in charge of the meeting, which is Counselor Kane, he can determine if he doesn't want any signs.
So Counselor Kane.
Correct.
So he's just, it's verbal.
It's one of the things in the law that he can,
You can say all minorities are not allowed into the
no, he cannot say that.
That's against the Constitution. But it just says you can't have freedom of speech, which is in the Constitution.
That is so true.
But in the law, it says he can't bring in signs.
I mean, you can
No,
do
but you
it
get
in
what
the
he
The law
says,
says
can he
can't
say
bring in signs.
Yeah.
No, in the law, whoever's in charge of the public meeting can determine they don't want any
But they can't
signs.
determine things that are against the Constitution.
I'm just telling you what the law is.
We can look it up.
How did it become a law?
Terry, what do you think?
Veronica, this is a public hearing. I'd like to call the Monday, September 9th, 6:30, public hearing to order. This public hearing is for council order 024. Not the time. This is not the time. We'll hold this meeting all night. This is not a public comment period for any subject matter that was just brought up. The chair of this meeting reserves the right to eject any person from this room that is causing either physical or vocal harm, and not germane to any part of this meeting. We very much appreciate your being here. We ask you to respect the decorum and the rules of this room. Especially from you, Madam. Especially from you.
Stop the greed! Stop the greed! Stop the greed! Stop the greed!